why being a team player is overrated, and what to do instead. Brought to you by Lux von Zollern, the maker of exclusive garments for successful women, available at the website lvzprestige.com. Think Lux von Zollern when you wish to amplify your executive impact in high-stakes business environments. Let's talk about something that's been drilled into our heads since kindergarten: the importance of being a team player. You've heard it all. There's no I in team. We're all in this together. The team is only as strong as its weakest member. And while those phrases might sound great in a motivational poster, here's the truth. Being a team player in today's cutthroat, toxic, and ultra-competitive workplace is highly overrated and, frankly, a bit of a career killer if you don't know how to use it to your advantage. As a professional woman who's looking to climb the corporate ladder quickly, it's time to rethink that team player mentality. Sure, being supportive, collaborating, and working together has its place, especially in a kumbaya office environment, but in the corporate world where everyone's trying to outshine each other for that coveted promotion, the focus needs to shift. You want to be seen as indispensable, not just a cog in the wheel. If you want to advance, it's time to stop trying to be everyone's best friend and start thinking about how to strategically play the game for your own success. The problem with teamwork, it's not about you, it's about them. Here's the harsh reality. Being a great team player often means you're more focused on the collective than on your own individual success. How many times have you sacrificed your personal goals to help the team succeed, only to watch someone else take credit for your efforts? Probably more than you'd like to admit. In a typical team player scenario, you're expected to blend into the background and support others. You cheer when someone else gets the credit, you lend a helping hand, and you go the extra mile. But in doing so, you end up reinforcing the idea that your value is based on how well you can serve the group. And let me tell you, that's not going to land you a promotion or a seat at the table when the big decisions are made. If you're constantly putting the team ahead of yourself, where's your time to shine? When was the last time anyone noticed your specific contributions, or more importantly, gave you credit for your individual brilliance? Exactly. Being a team player often means fading into the background and letting others take the spotlight. Your career is not a group project. Let's face it, your career is not a group project. This isn't high school, and you're not relying on the class clown to hand in his part of the paper. Your career trajectory is your own. And while you might need others along the way, you're the one who should be in control of your destiny. The problem with the team player mentality is that it often forces you to share the limelight when you're the one doing most of the heavy lifting. Picture this. You put in the hours, come up with brilliant ideas, and execute flawlessly. But when the boss praises the team effort, where are you? Probably off to the side, hoping that someone will remember that you were the one pulling all-nighters. But here's the truth. If you're constantly waiting for your team's success to define you, you'll never stand out in the crowd. People will see you as just another player in the game, not the MVP. You need to make your own mark, not wait for someone else's success to shine a light on you. What you should be doing instead: make yourself indispensable. Here's the secret to getting ahead in today's competitive work environment. Make yourself indispensable. Forget blending in. It's time to stand out. And not just in the way that gets you praise at the next team meeting, which, let's face it, is likely to be forgotten 5 minutes after the meeting ends. You need to be so valuable that your boss can't imagine a day at the office without you. How do you do that? It's not about doing everything for everyone. In fact, it's about finding your unique value. What sets you apart from everyone else, and highlighting that in a way that makes people take notice. Whether it's your ability to problem solve, your killer organizational skills, or the fact that you can turn any disaster into a success, you need to be the person others rely on, not just a nice-to-have team member. Make it known that you bring something irreplaceable to the table. If your ideas, your skill set, or your ability to handle pressure are crucial to the team's success, claim it. Don't wait for someone to notice. If you're waiting for the team to recognize your work, you're missing the point. Take charge of your own narrative. Don't let your value be determined by whether you're the team player or the one who actually makes the game-winning moves. The reality check. Sometimes teamwork is a distraction. Don't get me wrong, collaboration has its place. Teamwork is essential when you need a group of diverse minds coming together to solve complex problems. But in most corporate settings, teamwork can become a distraction, and the person who suffers is usually the one who's the most helpful. Here's the deal. While everyone's huddling together to brainstorm the next big idea, someone has to actually execute it. And guess what? That someone doesn't need to be you every time. Instead of jumping in to help on every team project, ask yourself, is this really moving me closer to my goals, or am I just checking boxes so I can look like a team player? Often, you'll find that the tasks you're being asked to take on aren't aligned with your career advancement. They're just filler. In the meantime, the people around you are making sure their names are attached to the bigger wins. It's time to stop wasting energy on other people's success and start channeling that energy into your own. Being a team player is fine for those who are content to stay in the background. But if you want to climb the ladder fast, you have to stop being so generous with your time and talents. You need to focus on building your own personal brand and making sure you're the one leading the charge when the big opportunities arise. How to be a strategic team player. Okay, let's not throw the whole team player mentality out the window just yet. The trick isn't to ditch teamwork altogether, but to be a strategic team player. There's a difference between being a doormat and being an effective contributor. You don't have to do everything for the team, but when you do contribute, make sure it's in a way that aligns with your personal goals and showcases your strengths. For example, instead of taking on tasks that you don't enjoy or that don't add to your expertise, volunteer for projects that help you sharpen the skills that will propel you forward. Be the one who's always looking for ways to shine, on your terms. When you're not just a follower in the team, but an active participant who also knows when to step back, you'll quickly start making your way to the top. Take credit, without being that person. We've all seen it, the person who loudly announces every little thing they've done, like a one-person cheer squad at a company-wide meeting. No one likes them, and their contributions get lost in a sea of over-enthusiastic self-promotion. But here's the thing. Just because we don't want to be that person doesn't mean we should be invisible. Your goal isn't to take credit for everything, but it's definitely to make sure you get credit for the things you do that matter. And the key to that is subtly inserting yourself into the conversation in ways that highlight your contributions without seeming like you're grabbing the spotlight. For example, if a big project succeeds because of your effort, don't wait for someone else to mention it in a meeting. Casually say something like, "I'm so glad we decided to take that approach. It really worked. I'm glad I got to lead the team on that one." You've just highlighted your involvement while giving credit to the team at large. It's a smooth, subtle way of showing your value without making it look like you're tooting your own horn too loudly. Let others applaud the team effort, and just make sure you're the one who's behind it all. Focus on skill mastery over team effort. In your career, skills are your superpower. The more specialized and valuable your skills, the harder it is for anyone to ignore your potential. You're not here to be a jack of all trades, constantly hopping from task to task just to keep the team afloat. No, you're here to become the go-to person for something that's unique, irreplaceable, and aligned with your personal goals. Instead of endlessly helping your team on every little project, focus on mastering skills that will set you apart. Maybe it's data analysis, strategic planning, or even crisis management. Whatever it is, be the best at it. When the team is struggling with something, you want to be the person they go to, not the one who is constantly bogged down doing busy work for everyone else. This doesn't mean you should ignore the team completely. Remember, strategic teamwork is still valuable. It means you should focus your energy on what makes you exceptional. The team will rely on you for the things that really matter, and you'll be the person others can't function without. Mastery in one area will make you indispensable in a way being a team player never will. Know when to step back and let others sink their own ships. Here's a golden nugget of wisdom. Sometimes, the best way to help your team is to do nothing at all. I know, it sounds counterintuitive, but hear me out. If your team is struggling with something, and you've already tried your best to offer solutions, it might be time to step back and let them flounder a little. You don't need to fix everything. In fact, If you constantly swoop in to solve everyone's problems, you'll be seen as the one who is always available to take the heat. This may feel great in the short term, who doesn't love to be the office hero, but it can be a long-term career killer. Sometimes, the best way to show your value is to let others sink or swim on their own. This might sound a little harsh, but it's about showing that you're not just a problem solver for everyone else. You're busy building your own career. And if someone on your team is failing, let them experience the consequences. The best lesson they can learn is that the team doesn't always have a safety net, and you don't need to be the one holding it. Of course, this doesn't mean leaving people in the dust. If they ask for help, by all means, lend a hand. But don't go above and beyond for people who consistently expect you to fix their mistakes. It's time to set boundaries and focus on your own success. Be the quiet leader, not the loudest one in the room. There's something to be said for being the loudest voice in the room, but in many cases, that person isn't actually the one making the most impact. In fact, they're often the first to be ignored or even resented. Instead of making a big show of your leadership skills, try becoming the quiet leader, the person who leads by example, not by constantly speaking up. The quiet leader doesn't feel the need to talk for the sake of talking. They don't need to throw out every idea just to be heard. They listen. They observe. They offer insight at the right moment. When you become the quiet leader, you let your actions speak louder than your words. You build a reputation for being someone who gets things done, not someone who just talks a big game. By mastering the art of leading without needing constant validation, you also become someone who can influence decisions and shape the direction of projects without needing the spotlight. Your boss will start to rely on you because they know you don't need to constantly prove yourself. You're too busy making things happen to care about taking all the credit. People respect this type of leader, and they often get promoted because they actually get results. Build relationships with key people, not just the team. Let's face it, in the corporate world, relationships matter. But I'm not talking about making best friends with your coworkers, although having a few trusted allies doesn't hurt. I'm talking about building relationships with the right people, the ones who have influence over your career and can help you get ahead. Instead of focusing all your energy on being besties with everyone on the team, start strategically aligning yourself with the decision makers. Build a rapport with the higher-ups who can advocate for you when the time comes. Make sure that you're on their radar for the right reasons, because you're bringing unique skills and ideas to the table, not just being a dutiful team player. Remember, your career isn't about pleasing everyone. It's about getting ahead in the right way. And aligning yourself with key decision-makers will get you noticed in ways that being a team player never will. Stop sacrificing your own advancement just to be a good team player. It's time to build your own path to success, one that doesn't rely on being the background support for everyone else. Be the quiet leader, the problem solver, and the person your boss can't afford to lose. Now go out there and show them how it's done. Brought to you by Lux von Zollern, the maker of exclusive garments for successful women, available at the website lvzprestige.com. Think Lux von Zollern when you wish to amplify your executive impact in high-stakes business environments.